Rico Freak YouTube channel. This is the first video of parasitology video series that explains morphology, life cycle, symptoms, treatment, and control methods of protozoan, helminth, and nematode parasites. The first video is all about Giardia intestinalis. To connect with more videos related to parasites, please subscribe to my channel.
Giardia intestinalis. Morphological characters of this species. So there are two stages in the life cycle of the Giardia. The first one is the trophozoid and the second stage is the cyst. Trophozoid and the cyst. If we go for the morphological features of the trophozoid, they look like teardrop shape and the anterior end is broad and the posterior end is pointed, and they are having two nucleus. These are the two nucleus and having a ventral anterior sucking disc. This species is nearly flattened, so in the ventral side we can see the sucking disc. This is one kind of parasitic adaptation in the Giardia. They are having ventral sucking disc, and these are known as flagellates because they are having four pairs of flagella: anterior pair, caudal pair, posterior pair, and the ventral pair. As well as they are having a basal body. Basal body is a type of protein that we can see at the base of flagella. This is the structure of the trophozoite of Giardia. So the morphology of the cyst. While this trophozoite form in the cyst to pass the harsh conditions, this trophozoite will form as cyst. The forming of cyst by the trophozoite is known as the encystation to pass the harsh conditions. While they are going through this encystation, all the organelles going to get duplicate. That means we can see four nucleus. Here in the trophozoite we can see only two nucleus, but in the cyst we can see four nucleus. As well as here we saw four pairs of flagella, but in the cyst we can see 8 pairs of flagella. 8 pairs of flagella. As well as here we saw basal bodies that's going to duplicate in this cyst. So these are the morphological features of the trophozoite and the cyst of the Giardia species. Here I told you trophozoite going to form into cyst by the process known as encystation. Again, if there are favorable conditions, this cyst going to form the trophozoites again. So what is the process? Excistation. While cyst going for the excistation, from one cyst they can produce two trophozoites. Encystation is not a reproductive method. Just they are forming cysts to pass the harsh conditions. So, this Giardia species can form the disease known as Giardiasis. Then if we move to the life cycle, here the host is the human. Human is the host. So this is direct life cycle because there are no any other host. This is direct life cycle. Only one host involving in the life cycle of the parasite. Especially we can see the Giardia in the small intestine region. Especially in the small intestine region of the human. So the host is human and the habitat is small intestine. Think if a person that infected with this Giardiasis, if he passed his fecal matter outside, we can see the cyst and the trophozoite stages in his feces. So the food that we are going to eat, if contaminated with this fecal matter that containing the cyst and the trophozoites of the Giardia, and if a healthy person is going to ingest that food that contaminated with this cyst, then that person also going to get the giardiasis. If he ingests these cysts through the contaminated food or water, then this cyst going to get into his small intestine, and these are the favorable conditions for the development. So they are going to do the excistation, because here with the use of gastric juices and other enzymes, these cysts can get excistation. By the excistation, they can produce the trophozoites. So we can see the trophozoites in the small intestine area. Already I told you they are having a ventral sucker disc. From this ventral sucker disc, they can adhere to the mucosa of this intestine, so they can get the nutrition. So especially the trophozoites we can see in the intestine area. In the intestine area, they can do the reproduction, asexual reproduction. This is the point. Okay, asexual reproduction by longitudinal binary fission. At this point, we can see the disease symptoms. Later part, I will tell you what are the disease symptoms. So in this point, we can see the disease symptoms. Then this trophozoite will pass to the colon region. This is the colon region. And this trophozoite can form the cyst by doing the encystation. Why they want to form the cyst? Because through the fecal matter, they are going to pass into outside. Outside the body, they can't survive. To survive in the outer environment, they should go through the encystation and they should produce the cyst. So here, see, they have mentioned D and I. What is meant by this? D is the diagnostic stage. Here we can say the diagnostic stage of the giardiasis as the trophozoite and the cyst. Both trophozoite and the cyst act as diagnostic stage. If we see this fecal matter under the microscope, and if we find the cyst and the trophozoite in that fecal matter, that is the diagnostic stage, then we can say that is positive for the giardiasis. So the diagnostic stage is both cyst and the trophozoites. And the infective stage, only the cyst. Only cyst can infect another host, not the trophozoite. So the infective stage for the giardiasis is cyst, and the diagnostic stages for the giardiasis is cyst and the trophozoite. This is the life cycle. I'm not going to read this again. You can go through the slides. Okay, so the disease caused by the giardia is known as giardiasis. That endoparasite, it is an endoparasite, and the host is human, cats or dogs. As well as this giardia can infect the cats, dogs and the birds rather than the human. Habitat is, we can see them in our small intestine, and the infective stage is cyst. How it can transmit the disease? By fecal oral route with contaminated food or water. Diagnostic stage is cyst and the trophozoite. We can do the diagnosis by fecal immunoassay. The disease symptoms are the diarrhea, gastric, because it can infect our intestine. So the symptoms are the diarrhea, gastric, greasy stools that tend to float, stomach pain, and we can get the nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, dehydration due to the diarrhea, and it can lead to the weight loss. These are the symptoms of the giardiasis. Then the treatments are metronidazole, tinidazole, and the nitazoxanide. These are the treatments for the giardiasis. And for the control, we can do the sanitation and good hygienic practices.